I have forgiven Jesus. Have you? That was, of course, the one and only Morrissey. Giving us a little break here. Halfway through, more than halfway through, episode 168 of MediaMonarchy.com. My name's James Evan Pilato. I'm your host and webmaster of the site and show. It's the end of April 2010, and we're broadcasting live from the Portland Radio Authority, praradio.org, zeropointradio.com, laughlinradio.com, and the worldwide home of free speech, revereradio.net. Something I just fired up and am experimenting with and testing was something I got turned on to at an event put on last weekend by radio23.org, and I'll have more on that for you this weekend on Media Monarchy. I got turned on to a site called ustream.tv that does live streaming. So I've set it up, and it's rolling right now, and I tweeted out the updates. So if someone checks it out live, let me know how it all looks, if it works, if we're going to try and integrate a more interactive kind of show and to be live worldwide at any moment. And that's what it's all about, I think, in the alternative media and alternative news world. So much still to go over in the remaining 45 minutes of this episode 168 of MediaMonarchy.com. Let's get to the police state updates, crisis, martial law, and black market operations. The first story is a fascinating one, and like the other big stories of the week, still developing, and all the bizarre connections and incidents have yet to be fleshed out. But let's hop to Cryptagon and break this down. And we do have a little bit of audio video for you as well. Derek Michael Stansberry, former Air Force intelligence specialist, claims to have a bomb and fake passport aboard transatlantic flight. This from the LA Times. Air Force reservist Derek Michael Stansberry allegedly claimed in a confused note to have explosives aboard a Delta flight from Paris to Atlanta. His possible motives are unclear. An Air Force reservist working for a defense contractor in Africa was charged Wednesday with making bomb threats on a flight to the U.S. that prompted 4 air marshals to barricade his boots and laptop in the rear of the jetliner for fear any explosives might go off midair. Derek Michael Stansberry, who served 2 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan as an Air Force intelligence specialist, allegedly said that he had packed dynamite in his boots and other explosives in his laptop and that he had a pressure switch to detonate the devices. The plane, Delta Flight 273 from Paris to Atlanta, carrying 235 people and a crew of 13, diverted to Bangor, Maine on Tuesday. Stansberry was arrested and charged with interfering with a flight crew and making false bomb threats on an aircraft. FBI Special Agent James R. McCarty said in an affidavit that Stansberry, 26, of Riverview, Florida, had passed a somewhat incoherent note to a flight attendant. Quote, "I'm not an American citizen. I was in Ouaga illegally." That's O-U-A-G-A. "My passports and identity are fake. I bought that bag on eBay and have no association with the United States. I will take whatever COA the U.S. wants. I will leave my wallet and passport on this aircraft." McCarty said the note ended, "Please let my family know the truth. I blanked up and will let the HN preside over my prosecutions, and that I love them." It was unclear what Stansberry meant by the acronyms HN or COA. COA is probably course of action. Delta Flight 273 from Paris diverted to Atlanta after man claims explosives. Florida military man. We've got reports from Reuters, from nationalterroralert.com, and we also have a couple of CNN videos. What exactly is going on here? I can't say. But why would a former Air Force intelligence specialist claim to have a fake bomb and fake passport on a transatlantic flight?
There has been a flight that has been diverted to Bangor, Maine. It was scheduled to arrive in Atlanta. It left from Paris. Instead, it's been diverted And there's the flight. There's the video of the flight as it was finally starting to come in. We're told that there was a disruptive passenger, that there's a federal air marshal on board, and that he has taken the passenger into custody. By the way, many of you have been tweeting since I shared the tweet from the fire rescue guys up there in Bangor who gave us information that there was a threat of a bomb on the plane. The person who sent me that tweet had suggested it was an Airbus 320. Now many of you have been tweeting me and telling me, and we thank you for this. Set us straight, guys. Many of you who are pilots or have information about this say it's not a 320, it's an A330. So it's an Airbus A330. There are the pictures on the ground from Bangor, Maine. What we understand is taking place right now is the plane is on the ground and many of the passengers are being questioned by law enforcement officials.
An Air Force veteran is in custody this morning, blamed for making a frightening claim that forced the plane to divert to Bangor, Maine. And that's where our John Berman has the latest on the investigation.
Delta Flight 273 touched down more than 1,000 miles short of its destination, all because of a strange claim from a 26-year-old former airman. Derek Stansberry is a veteran of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and his father says he's squeaky clean.
Knowing my son, something started on the plane. Things were said and misunderstood.
Officials say Stansberry in seat 12J passed a note to a flight attendant that said, "Forgive me, I blanked up, I'm sorry." A team of federal air marshals approached Stansberry, who they say muttered he had explosives in his bag, also a fake passport. The air marshals subdued Stansberry. They brought his bag and his shoes to the back of the plane and built a barrier of pillows and blankets to buffer any possible explosion. On the ground in Maine, investigators found no explosives, and Stansberry's passport was no fake. Passengers say while there was concern,
they did say there was a security breach on the plane.
Everyone remained calm, and most people didn't even know what was happening.
I was sleeping at the time.
Officials say Stansberry told air marshals he'd taken Valium and other pills before the flight. As for the passengers, more than 230 of them, they spent the night here in Maine and are headed to Atlanta this morning. Juju.
John Berman in Bangor, Maine. Thanks for the latest.
Most people weren't really paying attention and don't know what's going on. The last follow-up I have on the Michael Stansberry situation, Cryptagon following up, tracking his creepy customers coming to Cryptagon.com, and he got a lot in reference to this guy. He had U.S. Special Operations Command, Ramstein Air Force Base, 754th Electronic Systems Group, U.S. Air Force, all around the world. Something is going on planes. There's some kind of meme, some kind of even possible drill set going on. All kicking into high gear with the underwear bomber, who I believe we have an update on in just a few moments. Flight diverted to North Carolina after threatening message found in the bathroom. That's from Reuters. President left Asheville, North Carolina as armed man, 23-year-old Joseph McVeigh, arrested. More on that from Copycat Effect on the Twilight language of McVeigh and McVeigh. This current 23-year-old armed young man in Asheville, North Carolina is MCVEY, whereas Timothy McVeigh is MCVEIGH. And again, the signs, the symbols. Eco-terrorists with bomb arrested near Swiss IBM facility. Yes. This ties in with what we're seeing. I don't see eco-terrorists being called out as the major homegrown terror just yet because it doesn't seem to fit the agenda. But we shall see. Again, just as something's starting to bubble up, there's magically an event that somehow helps to kickstart and energize folks, and the agenda moves on.